It's the deal, YouTube. Dark Assassin here, bringing you another video. I'm to give you my Grand Theft Auto 5 single player review. Now, before we get into this review of this travesty single player game, I want to say this: there's some good parts and some pros of GTA 5, and there's some cons of GTA 5. But overall, I was not impressed. I thought it was dog shit, really. Okay. Now this game is a little better than Grand Theft Auto 4, you know, in that main sense it is, but it's still bad. Okay. The police car chases suck. Literally, they suck. They're not as intense enough to me as I was expecting, because when I look at Grand Theft Auto 4, even in that sense, you know, the Grand Theft Auto games up until Grand Theft Auto 5 had better police car chases. In GTA 5, the police car chases were just too easy to get away. What is it, 5 stars to get the full law behind you? And it still was too easy. No challenge at all. That was just pure trash. And then they're gonna make this thing in the game where, oh, you can get in, you can get in the shadows and the police will leave you alone. That's garbage. I don't remember Grand Theft Auto 4 or San Andreas, none of those having that. So police car chases, trash. Okay. The interrogations were garbage. Purely generic. Straight up generic. The GTA 5, the beginning of GTA 5, doing the bank heist, terrible interrogation, terrible. Not only the beginning part of GTA 5, but other interrogations in the game was just trash. Even like when you go and you would take somebody out of their car, I mean, just trash. Like, you know how they would make them just get out the car. It was just very generic. The radio stations did not have a huge variety of music to listen to. Or a lot of, you know, huge radio stations to really listen to in that perspective. I thought that was just trash, you know. I was expecting more of a variety of things to do in this game and more practically in the game, you know. And I'm not really impressed with GTA 5. I really think overall it's really garbage. Graphics and textures. Now they have some good parts in the game graphically, but they have some terrible muddy looking parts in this game as well. Cause see, I'm the type, I'm not gonna butt kiss you guys. I'm not gonna do it. Now there's some pros. Don't get me wrong, there's some pros. The missions in the game were just too easy, and they had some that just were just plain. They didn't really make no sense to me. And then they had the ones that were just too short. I feel like they practically just added anything in this game to be a mission. They really didn't have any challenging missions to me. There's a few that I actually did like. I like the part where Michael had to save his son and try to retrieve his lost boat. Him and Franklin did that mission. I like that one. A few missions I actually did care for and I thought was a little bit of a challenge. Let's see, you know, the personalities. Now, Franklin, to me, had the best personality out of the 3 protagonists of GTA 5. Because he was really trying to get out of the hood, and his friends and, you know, people in general that was in his hood really wanted him to go back to that gang banging garbage and selling dope and everything, and he wanted to make a change. So he ended up teaming up with Michael, which I thought was great teamwork and unity, because Michael was, you know, like an ex-convict, because, you know, he did, you know, bad things, you know, in his past life, and he was a rich cat where his wife was always getting some booty on the side, and his son was a fat fuck, really, because he, you know, his son didn't want to do nothing with himself. All he wanted to do was play video games all day. I wish they would have let me bust a hole in that bastard, because I probably would have did it. You know, then you got Trevor, the badass. This guy was just crazy all over, because he was fucking a girl, you know, in his house at his sink. This dude was like, he had this personality where he would take his hand and practically probably take shit out of his ass if he could, if he really could. He just had a badass personality. Not saying he wasn't a bad guy in this, you know, but, you know, I didn't like the ending of GTA 5. And a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about if you completed the game. I'm not going to go no further with that. I did not like Grand Theft Auto's ending. I didn't like it at all. It really was, you know, and you know what's the bad part mainly about it? Trevor, you know, really, it really involves him in that bad ending of Grand Theft Auto 5. It really does. The personalities were pretty good. You know, Franklin is number 1, Michael's number 2, then Trevor. Let's see. The minimap was garbage, plainly garbage. It looked rushed looking. It looked like just a pile of shit. Really, it looked terrible. There were times in this game where I actually got lost, and you really have to adjust the minimap, but it still looks like trash. It still does. Just making these adjustments, it just still looked like trash. Let's see. A lot of the cutscenes were generic to me. I didn't like them at all. It seemed like this game was too hyped up, and it seemed like they really were trying to advertise only the good parts, even at the graphical expense, just show you those parts, because developers use graphics to really deceive people. I'm not a graphics hoe like a lot of other people on YouTube are. You know, I just feel like this game was not, it just was not all that I was expecting it to be. It was not. And I know people are going to sit there and like a 4-year-old gamer, oh, Dark Assassin, what are you talking about? You're just some straight nerd who doesn't know his video games. No, that's not the case. This game was terrible overall. I didn't like it at all. It had its good part, it had its pros, but it just overall, just to me, was a bad game. Now, you know, of course, it's gonna look better graphically when they jump it over to next gen and PC. And I'm hoping that they try to at least, when the next gen consoles come out and for PC, that they try to at least learn from the experience with the console versions. And from what I heard, you know, the 360 version of GTA 5 was breaking down on the 360. But you know, this game overall just to me was atrocious. It really didn't hit. It wasn't hitting on nothing. Yeah, it's a little better than Grand Theft Auto 4. It's way better than Saints Row 4 because Saints Row 4 made no sense, period. This game had more sense to it than Saints Row 4 and GTA 4. But there are some things in Grand Theft Auto 4 that I would still prefer than in Grand Theft Auto 5, because practically, you know, you're in Southern California in this game. But I mean, I feel like a lot of the criminal scenes were just generic and boring. They really didn't make any sense, you know. But I mean, whatever I missed that was a problem, I want you guys to let me know. I thought, you know, the driving mechanics in the game were bad at the beginning, but when you get full into the game, it actually does become, you know, it actually becomes pretty good. Let's see, you know, the aim mechanics was great, the cover mechanics was great. But you know, a lot of it really was generic and plain, easy. Missions were too short. I mean, just it had issues. This game was not 100% flawless. Now, I'm not saying I said the game was complete trash, because really, in reality, it really is. It wasn't really hitting on anything. It had its good, it had its pros, but the cons just overtake this game in every way. There's problems with this game. Problems, serious problems. The personality, I mean, the story looked like it wanted to have a good thought, but it was just trash because it really didn't put enough time into this game. And that's why I don't care about playing the multiplayer. I'm done with GTA 5. I'm just giving, this is just a single player review. Now, if you want the multiplayer review, you're going to have to go to somebody else, because my problem was they never even gave a beta. They didn't give a beta for that multiplayer, and I don't care. This was one of the games out of the few select that I actually was planning on buying for the single player of the game. And like I said, this game has no replay value to it. It has none. I won't be coming back to it. When I think of Grand Theft Auto 4 and San Andreas and just the other ones, those had way more replay value than Grand Theft Auto 5 does. Now, yeah, it has its good fun parts, but it was just really just generic, really. It had its good parts graphically, but I was not really impressed. You know, I saw a lot of issues with this game, which I wasn't going expecting a 100% complete game, but I have to tell the truth. This game was trash overall. Had its pros, had its cons, but the cons just overtake the pros. They tried to hype this game up too much. It was too much. And normally when they hype a game up, you know, when they put all the emphasis on one game, that particular game, normally time is going to be trash, because they're just they're only showing you what you want to see. And they're only going to review what they know you're going to want to hear. Metacritic, all those idiots, they're only going to review what you want to hear. They're only going to give good scores. And that's why I don't let reviewers, you know, and developers run my life with games, game reviews, just anything in general. I don't let them run my life, because they could give you know, game reviewers can give a bad, you know, rating to a game that actually was good. And then you have the ones where they give a good rating to a game, and when you get it, it's actually bad, because it's deception. It's a money thing. So don't let game reviews and game developers run your lives, okay? Don't. This game was terrible overall. I didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. I didn't enjoy it. I gotta call this like it is. And there was no multiplayer beta, and I'm not worried about that online now. I'm getting ready for Beyond Two Souls. If you guys don't like the way I give reviews, well, oh well, suck on these nuts. I don't care if you're nuts in my balls and my dingling. I don't care. This game was terrible overall. Had some good parts to it, good points, but cons just overtake it. So that was my review. Anything I missed that was a problem, please point it out to me, because I'll actually always give more than one review, but this is just the main review, pointing out the main points. So if I missed some things, I'll go back and do a side review or what have you. That's it. It is a little better. It is better than Grand Theft Auto 4, in a sense it is. But there's some things about Grand Theft Auto 4 that, you know, to me, in my estimation, was better than. Grand Theft Auto 4 has some better things in it than what GTA 5 had. It was more. Grand Theft Auto 4 was more balanced in my opinion, but GTA 5 had more thought in the storyline, because I didn't like Grand Theft Auto 4's storyline at all. I didn't like Nico. I'm leaving here with Roman. And I didn't like the Dawson Dam, and I didn't like the Ballad Gay Tony. So, leave your opinions. I'm out. Peace. See you around. I'm out.